Hello, everybody. It's Zach here from realestatelicensewizard.com. Today, we're talking about prepayment penalties or the prepayment penalty clause. I know it's a little bit of a tongue twister, so bear with me if I slip up once or twice. So, a prepayment penalty is a fee some mortgage lenders charge if a borrower pays off their loan too quickly. Sounds a little crazy, right? Well, it kind of is, but more on that later. As always, in this video, we're going to talk about the definition, how it relates to real estate, and what to know for the real estate exam. But before we do that, let's just define clause for those of you who don't know exactly what a clause is. For those of you who don't know, a clause identifies a particular section of a real estate contract. It's as simple as that. In real estate, there are many types of clauses, though, that you need to understand, not just for your real estate career, but also for the real estate exam. So let's define this clause, the prepayment penalty clause. So a prepayment penalty clause states that a lender can penalize a borrower if the borrower pays off the mortgage much sooner than usual. Yes, you heard that right. If a mortgage has a prepayment penalty clause, paying off a loan faster than usual can actually create a fee for the borrower. The fee occurs if a borrower pays off their loan before a specific period, typically within the first 5 years. So you're probably thinking, well, why do lenders charge prepayment penalties? And that's kind of a good question. Prepayment penalties act as protection for banks or lenders against losing interest they typically would earn. Remember, lenders give out loans to make money. And if for some reason a borrower pays off the loan fast enough, they want something in return. Now, it's worth noting a prepayment penalty is not that common today, but some traditional mortgages still include prepayment penalty clauses. The good thing is lenders are required to disclose prepayment penalties at closing in the form of a prepayment penalty clause. Just another reason it's super important to read and understand a contract before you sign it. So, how are these prepayment penalties calculated? Well, prepayment penalties clauses vary per contract and depending on the lender. Some penalties can either be a fixed amount or a specific percentage of the remaining mortgage balance. The first thing you have to do to calculate prepayment penalties is to determine the lender's method of prepayment penalty by reading through the specific clause or the specific contract. Then, depending on the method, you'll either multiply your remaining principal by your interest rate, by the number of months, or just end up having to pay that fixed amount. Luckily, though, you're probably wondering, like, what? Luckily, though, you won't have to do that for the real estate exam. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that at all. So what do you need to know for the real estate exam? Well, like other clauses for the exam, you need to remember exactly what the prepayment penalty clause is. A question on the exam is they might list a bunch of different clauses or a bunch of different definitions, and you have to distinguish which is which and which clause goes where. But yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know about prepayment penalties and the prepayment penalty clause. Such a tongue twister. This video is part of our Answering Real Estate Exam series where we go over specific vocab and topics for the real estate exam. Please check out the rest of those if you haven't already, and make sure to like and subscribe. That way you are as prepared as possible for the exam. If you do have any other questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, my name is Zachary Smiggle from realestatelicensewizard.com. Make today magical.